Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at producing visualizations using Workbench. So this is a much simpler option than using Tableau, but it can be used really effectively for simple graphs, and it's always available online, so it's really easy to use. So I'm going to walk through a couple examples, and the first example, I'm looking at this PDF, and this is survey data. So this is how we often see surveys reported. And I'm interested in this bit right here. So this is, have you yourself or someone in your household experienced in the following because of the coronavirus, been let go or had your work hours reduced? So have you been fired or had your work cut? And I'm interested in the fact that 25% of households making less than 50,000 have experienced this, and 14% of those making 50,000 or more have experienced this. So households that are have lower income are experiencing more job loss as a result of the coronavirus. So if I wanted to make a visualization of this, a really simple one would just be a bar chart, right? Showing 25% for this column and 50% for this column. So if I want to do that, the data structure that I need is really simple, right? I need to know what's the household income and what's the percent of households. So I can make this in Excel really quickly. And I don't even have to, OCR the PDF or anything like that. If I'm just making a simple bar chart like this with survey data, I can just type it into Excel. And then keeping things simple, I'm just going to copy this. And if we're in Workbench, so we've been in Workbench a lot this semester, I can do the paste data option, and I can just paste in what I copied from Excel, and when I run that, I get the table that I need. So from there in Excel or in Workbench, it's very simple to create a visualization. I want to create a column chart, and my x-axis is going to be my household income because I want 50,000 more or less on the x-axis. My y-axis is the percent, and if I play this, Workbench makes me a really simple visualization here. So I can give it a chart title, households with lower income experience greater job loss. You'd write a better title than that. X-axis, household income, that works for me. Y-axis, I'm going to change this to percent of households experiencing job loss or hour reductions. Okay, so then I can come here and I can save this as an SVG or a ping. If you just want to put this into a Word doc, save it as a ping, and that's just an image file. You can drop it in, and we'll talk about SVGs in just a second. So here's another example. This is using our fire report data, so it's a much bigger data set, right? I might have been working on this in Workbench. I might filter it. I might do other things. But let's say I want to make a pivot table from this. So I can do that in Workbench by doing group. I'm going to group on the property column, and I'm going to just say we're going to count up the number of reports to each property. So when I run this, I now get this report, and if I add a visualization, let's say I want to make a histogram showing how these are distributed. So histogram is only showing me the distribution of one number, so I want to know about the number of reports, and let's just see what this gives us. Okay, so this gives us a histogram showing that, most of the apartment complexes have relatively few reports, and a couple outliers have a lot of reports. So I would give this a title, and again, I'm going to download it. If I want to go straight into Word, I'm going to download a ping, and if I want to make any changes, I can download this as an SVG, and an SVG is a file that I can open in Illustrator. So really quickly, I'm going to go through this. This is kind of an advanced option. just if you want to make any changes. So examples of changes you might want to make are if you want to highlight, say, a certain column in a bar chart, you could do that. If you want to maybe highlight a scatter point, something like that. But this is an SVG that's opened in Illustrator, and if I come in, and everything's going to be grouped if you're used to using Illustrator, but I can drill down and just keep clicking in until I get to just what I want to change, and now I can call out one of my columns. So for example, if I had a column chart or a bar chart and I wanted to really draw attention to one of the columns in my story, this is a way that you could do this. So now you can save this out of Illustrator in any way that you can. So really simple way to make a few different kinds of charts from inside Workbench.